Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations with Azu, the Vitality and More podcast. I'm truly excited and happy to be talking with you all. My name is Azu Dogan, and I'm your host today. Some of you may already know me from my Instagram or Facebook pages, Vitality and More, or as the author of Follow Your Heart, Live, Eat, Be. This podcast is about connecting real conversations around wholeness and wellness. I share my wisdom around topics that will inspire you to make an inward journey, be curious, follow your heart to purposeful living, and find abundance within. Just a quick mention, though, before we begin. This podcast does not in any way offer medical or professional health advice, as I'm not trained in either of these areas. What this podcast does do, however, is offer a platform where we can have conversations to help guide us on our journey to becoming more whole, living a life of abundance, health, and happiness. After publishing my first book, Follow Your Heart, in late 2021, I've been wanting to share many conversations with you all. Conversations about what I've learned in my healing journey and what it means to live, eat, be, and follow your heart. I'm wanting to expand the whole essence of what Vitality and More is all about and create healthy, practical, and authentic conversations here so that you too can find alignment with life and know your why. So if I haven't already said it, thank you for joining the conversation today. Let's get started with our very first episode on the topic of perfectionism. Episode 1. What is perfectionism and why or how does it control our daily lives? The Oxford Dictionary defines it as a refusal to accept any standard short of perfection. Perfectionism is commonly known as the tendency to place unrealistic demands on yourself and others. Key word being unrealistic. You see, while some view perfectionism as a good personality trait to have, I'm here to tell you today quite the opposite. Perfectionism can give us a false sense of self and life. Perfectionism, I believe, distorts reality. If we are continually forced to be or look perfect, then who are we really? Why do we have to conform to perfectionism? I too have struggled with the concept of perfectionism. I've waited so long to get this podcast and my voice out there for the fear of it not being perfect enough and for the fear of failure. I've dwelled on the fact that I didn't have the equipment or knowledge to begin the podcast, and for that reason, I believed that it wasn't going to be perfect, so of course I delayed getting this out, making all kinds of excuses in my head. Hence why I've chosen this as my first topic of conversation. I have held strong beliefs around perfectionism for quite some time, until I did the inner work, until I realized that things didn't have to be perfect to begin. I didn't have to be perfect to share my voice. I was enough, and this feeling of having excessive high expectations from everyone and everything was not serving me. I soon realized that this quest to look perfect, be perfect, and do perfect, and get validations for it was not achievable nor a sustainable way to be. This is where my personal journey of awakening and self awareness began. I now have learned that perfectionism is a distraction and another societal creation that moves us away from who we are. Look around you. Observe social media, Hollywood, celebrities, magazines, even the education system. They are all in one way or another teaching us and our future generations that we must be perfect to survive in this world, and that as life becomes harder, only the perfect people will be selected for certain roles or make it in life. I'm here to tell you that this is not the case. I'm here to guide you to understand that perfectionism is flawed and can be harmful to our mental health, well-being, and social connections. I'm here to speak my truth and encourage you to do the same so that you can live and follow a purposeful, wholesome, happy, healthy, and fulfilling life. Perfectionism is when we're constantly striving for flawlessness and setting high expectations and standards for performance on others, on life, on relationships, on loved ones, on ourselves, and just about anything and anyone that comes into or crosses our path or journey. Perfectionism makes us something we are not. We look in the mirror, and if the reflection is not perfect, then we feel afraid and closed. We are withdrawn and disconnected from ourselves, each other, and the world at large. We lose our sense of self love and self worth as we are looking for that something which is perfect. We seek answers and solutions outside of us to fill the void and be part of this world of perfectionism. One would take the view that if we are not perfect enough, then we cannot be capable of doing certain things, jobs, professions, or performances. But here's the thing: when we are young, our society, our teachers, our family, our friends, our peers, our mentors all tell us or teach us to believe that perfectionism is the only way, that if we are perfect, we will find the right husband, wife, partner in life, and he or she or they will also be perfect. And with that, you'll have perfect children if you choose and are blessed to do so, and will live in a perfect home, have the perfect job, living the most perfect lifestyle with the perfect friends. Magazines, Hollywood, and celebrities, which most people aspire to, all provide the narrative about perfection and how we should look. People are undergoing costly and perhaps painful cosmetic surgeries and Botox in the search for perfectionism. They are all wanting to look a certain way or be something that they are not. Pictures are photoshopped for perfection because we are not allowed to look a certain age or be authentic anymore. I know this is changing, and there are many beautiful actors and actresses these days that are promoting themselves without makeup and are foregoing the need for Botox or cosmetic surgery. But the sad reality is that there is still a distorted view of what perfection means and how it is portrayed and exploited, especially for us women. To fit in, to blend in with what's on trend, we must be perfect. Because if we are not, then I guess we simply don't or won't fit in. The notion of perfectionism is misleading us. It's taking us on the wrong path, the path to not knowing who we fully are, the path of conformity, to look perfect at all costs and have the perfect life with all the perfect things and possessions, even if it means you are drowning in debt. When we are young, we are taught to be perfect and good students to land the perfect job. But what on earth does that mean? Seriously, we are not robots. We are all unique. And if we want to use the word perfect, then I would say we are perfectly imperfect in every way. We each have our own paths, our own journeys, our own belief systems, and carry our own beauty and bodies. Perfectionism will take away your freedom if you let it control your life, your decisions, and your aura. The constant internal pressure to look and be perfect at all costs is the denial of your authenticity. Remember that it's okay to make mistakes because no one is perfect. It's okay to be individual. It's okay to be authentic and speak your truth. It's okay to let go of that inner critic in your head telling you you're not perfect enough. It's okay to accept that some things won't be exceptional or of the high standards in life. It's okay not to be perfect. Studies have shown that perfectionists tend to be less happy, suffer from depression, have self-esteem issues and or anxiety, which is concerning to me and should be to you. The ego mind tells us we must have instant success with whatever we are doing because that is a measure of perfectionism. And if we are not that, then we must be something of a lesser nature. These are all stories, mind lies, narratives, beliefs that we are carrying around with us day in, day out. They can be exhausting and debilitating if we are not careful. And just to be clear, let's not confuse a high achiever with a perfectionist. A high achiever is a dedicated individual who has a strong desire to accomplish something that is important to them. They want to achieve success for themselves, not for the fear of failure or for others. On the other hand, the perfectionist is driven by the fear of failure. They are so afraid of not being good enough because somewhere along the road on their path they were told just that they were not good enough. Here's some of the examples of someone that is a perfectionist or succumbs to the world of perfectionism. They can never celebrate their success. They find faults in themselves, saying things like, I should have done this or that, or I really could have done that better. Does this sound familiar to you? They don't accept mistakes and fall into a deep spiraling thought process of how they feel stupid or not smart enough because of a certain mistake. They are fiercely afraid of being judged or criticized by others, making others believe that they are perfect in everything they do. A perfectionist will usually, let's say more than likely, stick to what they know and not try anything new, as they have the fear of failure. They're comfortable doing what they always do so perfectly. A perfectionist wants the world to see only their achievements and never their failures. They want to be seen as the perfect athlete or doctor or teacher or wife or husband or chef or whatever title you want to have. It's never enough to be a good, kind-hearted person, but you must be a perfect person in their mind's eye. This is a concern. You see, perfectionists are usually challenged on completing tasks or projects, a little like procrastinators. Whilst things eventually get done, they are fraught with the constant ego mind battle that goes on in their head, telling them that it's not perfect or good enough. Now you can understand how this can and will mentally drain and deplete you, and why the conversation around perfectionism is so important to have. In my view, perfectionism is unattainable and unachievable. If you want to be happy and live a fulfilling and meaningful life, I'll let you ponder on that one for now. The good news is that you can unlearn everything you've learned about perfectionism. You are, we all are capable of change. Here's some tips that you can try to move away from the notion of perfectionism. Gain awareness of your thoughts and behaviours. Take small steps daily, consciously, to challenge these thoughts and beliefs around being perfect to being enough. Work on removing the negative self-talk and self-doubt. That ego mind is so strong when you are a perfectionist. Practice self-awareness and self-acceptance of being comfortable with being good enough and not being perfect. Set reasonable, achievable goals for real change. Surrender and let go. You don't have to be in control of everything. This one's my favourite, because a perfectionist is always feeling safe when they're in control. And finally, tune into your emotions. Flow with them and not against them. So you see, perfectionism doesn't have to be the way we move forward in life. It doesn't have to dictate the way we look, dress, behave, or work. Let's get the conversations moving so we can embody authenticity, move into heart-centered living and alignment. Let's change the narrative, be the game changers collectively, universally. I'm here to inspire you to take on a new mindset. I'm here to challenge your thoughts towards perfectionism. I'm here to bring about change and awareness. I'm here to teach you to connect with your heart and not your ego mind. I'm here to remind you that perfectionism can be soul-crushing and damaging to your mental health and well-being. I'm here to change the narrative and hope that you'll join me in changing the narrative around people that are close to you and future generations. I'm here for real talk and heart-centered conversations. Join me here weekly or visit my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or website for more inspiration like this. And if you love what you heard today, please subscribe or share with your friends and family and let the conversation expand. I would love to have you here and join me on this journey to wholeness, happiness, and well-being. Once again, thank you for tuning in today, for trusting me. I'm grateful knowing that you are listening and doing the work for your well-being and wholeness. Let us live, eat, be for a life full of vitality and more. It's been an absolute pleasure having this conversation today, sending love, blessings, and vitality and more your way. And if you're keen to chat with me, Get in touch via the Contact Us page on my website or via my social media pages, and let's get the conversation growing. This is all very new to me, but feels so refreshing. I'm truly excited to see where it continues to land. Namaste, beautiful friends. Until next week.